Hola clase. In this unit, we will be looking at pronunciation stress patterns in Spanish. This is in preparation for next semester when you will learn how to write the accent mark on words and how to tell if a word needs an accent mark or not. So here we're looking at the stress pattern, and you guys can read through the concept, follow those links, and listen to the different recordings that we've made for you. But let's take a look at this portion here, which is natural stress pattern. So in Spanish, there's a definite stress pattern to the language. Most words don't need an accent mark because they follow a natural stress pattern. And that pattern is any word that ends in a vowel, an N or an S, is naturally stressed on the second to last syllable. And a word that ends in any consonant other than N or S is stressed on the last syllable. Any word that breaks those two rules needs an accent mark. So for instance, if you see a word with an accent mark on the last syllable, such as papa, it's because it's breaking one of these rules, one of these two rules. Or if there's a word with an accent mark on the third from last syllable, like miércoles or sábado, again, it's breaking one of these two rules. Let's take a look at sábado, for instance. Sábado ends in a vowel, so it should be stressed on the second to last syllable, sábado. It's not. It's stressed on the third from last. So it breaks that natural stress pattern. And to alert the reader, we put an accent mark on it, sábado, sábado. But you'll learn more about accent marks later in next semester, as I mentioned earlier. Here, you simply have to become familiar with these two natural stress pattern rules that I've just mentioned. Here, if it ends in a consonant other than N or S, it's stressed on the last syllable. So listen to these: campamento, volumen, viernes, stressed on the last syllable. Trabajar, feliz, abril. You can hear it. With practice, you'll be able to hear it clearly. So in 101, you studied the boot when you studied regular verbs and how to pronounce them. And you realized, or you learned, that in the boot, the stress is on the second to last syllable for regular verbs. Trabajar, dibujar, etc. And if you look at this pattern, you can see here that you have your vowels, your letter N, your letter S, and another letter S here. And in these 5 instances, the stress, which is bolded here, is on the second to last syllable, just as natural stress pattern 1 would tell us. The infinitive, on the other hand, ends in a consonant other than N or S, and thus is stressed on the last syllable, dibujar. So notice that stress from jar to bu when we conjugate it. Dibujar, dibujo. You hear that stress shift? Dibujar, dibujo. The one form that's irregular, right, it breaks the stress pattern, is the vosotros, and that's why it needs an accent mark on the last syllable. This word needs an accent mark because it ends in an S, and therefore should be stressed on the second to last syllable. Since it's not, it's breaking natural stress pattern 1, it needs an accent mark to alert the reader. Again, we don't hear accent marks. Accent marks are visual markers to let the reader know where to put the stress on a word that doesn't follow the natural stress pattern. Next semester, when we study accent marks actively, you'll learn that there's some other rules as well. For instance, accent marks that tell the difference between words. For instance, el without an accent mark, the, and el with an accent mark, he or him. So you don't need to worry about those yet. Do listen for the stress. Practice as much as you can with these. And then when you feel ready, practice these and go on to the práctica to demonstrate your mastery of the subject matter. Bien, Buena suerte, clase. Hasta luego.